It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Yeah, self-love at an all-time high. It's a feeling I can't even describe. Used to watch from the side, heart beating full of ego and pride. Scared of living, more fearful to die. Narrow minds had me second-guessing. It's suppression blocking my blessings, now I'm manifesting. Set intentions, the paper stretching, people asking questions. Bet they wonder what changed with me. Learn to switch to fit if it can't fit me, just stay with me. Listen, animosity gradually on the decline. Respiratory flowing when I recline. About to catch a flight, throw the peace sign. New city, new state. I'm leaving all my baggage in my suitcase. Money is rising, my skin looking vibrant. I'm moving with impeccable timing. It's more than just rhyming. All this beauty that's around me, plus we luxury dining. Only reason y'all be tripping, cause you nickel and diamond. Ooh, peak the je ne sais quoi. Feel the vibe. I'm just grateful that I'm still alive. I thank God, homie. You thank God, man. I thank God, man. Blessings. Yeah. Peak the je ne sais quoi. Feel the vibe. I'm just grateful that I'm still alive. I thank God. Yeah. We thank God, homie. Yeah. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there today. In this video, we're going to be doing some commentary on current events, okay? Now, doctor, is she a doctor or not is the question. Cheyenne Bryant has been a hot topic for damn near a month now, for real. But the last couple of weeks, it has gotten fire hot, not lukewarm at all. You know what I'm saying? Her education background has been questioned. The validity of her practice, you know, because she goes around and tells people that she's a therapist. She's been called a doctor on numerous platforms. Her own website says Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. All of her branding says Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She even wears a chain that says the word doc on it. Okay? And she's been under a massive amount of scrutiny these last few weeks, and it has reached a fever pitch, so much so that they're now digging into her past, into an interview that she did with Torre, journalist, media personality. He's been in broadcast for shit as long as I've been around. You know what I mean? Damn near 20 years. And hell, damn near 30, excuse me. Put some respect on that. And, you know, she basically snapped off on him because they had a conversation about, you know, disciplining children, whether or not physical violence actually helps. And she basically laid into Torre and said, you know, gentle parenting equals gentle children. And then she went on to say that he is exactly who he is, a gentle man, a gentle, you know, and she wasn't saying it in a kind way because of gentle parenting, and basically saying nobody wants their child, especially a boy, to grow up to be a man as gentle as he. Right? It's a lot of different moving parts. We got Amanda Seals coming out to her defense. We got Dr. Umar, who, you know, is also a very controversial figure. Hell, Amanda is too. Coming out to her defense, basically saying it don't matter whether or not she's licensed, whether or not she's actually received her doctorate degree or not. It should not matter. I find that to be very suspicious. Gotta say, because I don't know anyone else that we've made these types of, you know, just like overlooking and concessions is the word I was looking for. These types of concessions for in the medical field, especially something as fragile as therapy and mental health and trying to call yourself a psychologist. I don't know about that. She was called out just a couple weeks ago by another Black woman in the actual therapy community who is licensed, who is running a standard practice, and basically said, hey, Cheyenne Bryant is a life coach. There's nothing wrong with being a coach. There's nothing wrong with being a mentor or something of those lines. However, you cannot blur the lines between mentoring and coaching and actual psychotherapy. It is not okay. It is not cool to do. And it is a disgrace to the people that are actually practicing in the field. I agree. Cheyenne has gone on multiple interviews over the last few weeks and basically tried to defend herself. She claims that she did a doctorate program at Argosy University and it subsequently closed down, which is true, and left a lot of students displaced, in student debt without finishing up their programs, no job assistance, and no way to, basically finish out their commitment. She claims, on the other hand, that there's also no records of her academic achievements from the university. However, other students that went through the very same issue that she did have come out and shown that their records, their transcripts, their degree information, their dissertations, all of the things that they had to submit in order to become degreed are still very much available and have shown that they can obtain that information within moments. Cheyenne Bryant, on the other hand, claims all her records have been lost in the ether. We also find that suspicious. And now that the fire has been lit under her feet, she has actually taken to social media. She's taken to interviews to basically taunt the people and deduce their critiques and their valid questions about her certification and her, legitimacy as a professional. She's basically deducing it down to these people are haters. I don't have to answer to y'all, I answer to God. Okay? And there's many people online that are echoing these very same sentiments that are trying to say that because Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is perhaps more desirable than them is why these critiques are now coming out. I beg to differ. I think people online generally love folks who are desirable, that they deem are pretty or attractive. They tend to get a lot of support, as she has. There's only so many people that are really coming down on her. There's still a lot of support. There's a lot of people of power, public figures, celebrities, etc., that are going to continue to amplify her message. She's here because of those very people. 50 Cent helped her re-release one of her books when he didn't even know who the fuck she was. She DM'd him on Instagram, and you saw she was fast-tracked into that support. He didn't know who she was. She's been on Cam Newton's podcast, trying to diagnose him and give him information. I didn't know who the fuck she was then. She's been a part of Tonight's Conversation, which was a traveling, I don't even know what the hell you want to call it, traveling debate show, I guess you could say, about relationships, man versus woman, all that stupid shit that we engage with on social media. They personified it in a tour, multiple tours. She played a role in that as well, right? She's been on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Joe Budden podcast, you name it, she's been supported. So let's get into how she's now reacting to questions about her validity. Nearly a month ago to this date, we have the interview she did on the Joe Budden podcast called The Hope Advocate. This episode is actually available on YouTube, not only on their Patreon. And they ask her about her beginnings, how she got into the field. This is how she steered the conversation in this direction. I want to go ahead and just say that. This is prior to all the critiques. This is what she had to say when asked how she got into the field.
Child therapist about 18 years ago, before I obtained my doctorate degree in counseling psychology. Once I became a doctor of psychology, I transitioned from a therapist to a psychology expert in private practice. And so I no longer practice under a license. I'm in private practice.
You're making all the money now.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what people don't understand, right? So just to educate.
I now practice no longer under a license. I'm not sure why you would do that. Somebody please enlighten me on practicing therapy unlicensed.
Some folks a little bit. A license is really only needed so you can bill insurance. And let me go a step further. Majority of people who know that
A license is only needed so you can bill insurance? I could have swore that licenses were needed legally. Just like a lawyer got to pass the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
in order to bill insurance as a therapist or a physician or a psychologist, psychiatrist, you have to diagnose.
Okay.
Most people don't want to have a diagnosis on their record. So what do they rather do? Pay out of pocket.
That's what I
And
do.
so when I realized that, I thought, well, okay, it may create a gap within our community, our Black community, who can't afford health care or afford mental health services. But it also is a way that, as a therapist, two things: you can obviously make what you deserve, because therapy is real. We're giving everything we have in there. And we're unpacking shit, and we're helping you process through things. So it's not us sitting there where, if you're an effective therapist, saying, tell me more. You should be unpacking. And you should be able to take somebody and drive with them to their goal and give them tools. So anyways, when I realized that, I thought, well, one, I'll just be out of pocket. Two, when I tell my clients the truth, is that in order to bill insurance, I have to diagnose you. And you only get about 6 weeks. In order for me to get 6 more weeks approval, guess what? I have to say that you are slightly improving, but really,
not there.
Come
You're
on
still
now.
fucked
So
up.
if anything happens in the court of law, if anything happens with employment, that is on your record forever. And so I'm not saying that folks should, not go get therapy if they have to bill insurance. Get the help that you need. I advocate for that. I advocate for therapy being a lifestyle, not just a intervention, right? It should be a preventative measure. But I am saying that for me, I'm in private practice. I make much more money. It allows me to have more leverage and really be hands-on with my clients.
Make much more money. Okay, gotta get direct access to that bread. Okay.
I'm not binded by BBS, the Behavior Board Science rules and regulations and ethics. And so it just opened up a whole nother, floor in industry for me. And then
So you're not bound by the rules and regulations of the BBS. Not bound by the rules and regulations. So you're operating outside of the rules and regulations for the practice that you've chosen.
from there, I wrote my book, and I started speaking on platforms. And when I started speaking on platforms, it became an order. I never had an agent. I, never had a manager.
You were
I have a
self-published?
team now. I
The first
self-published
book?
my first book.
The first book, yeah.
But from there, it was really just me showing up in my authenticity of who I am.
All right. So that's one of the first puzzle pieces that brought a lot of question marks to the internet. Okay. This is what initially got her called out. So from there, so that led to Dr. Raquel Martin coming out and issuing this response almost a month ago to the date again. Because again, this is responding to the episode of Joe Budden podcast that came out last month. So here is what she had to say.
Dr. Raquel Martin. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, professor of sciences, and podcast host who specializes in Black health and well-being. And I want to break down a clip from the Joe Budden podcast featuring someone who presents herself as Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. But before we dive in, I want to make something incredibly clear. Having a doctorate does not mean someone is a licensed mental health professional. You can have a doctorate in literature and be unlicensed, and you are still a doctor. You can have a doctorate in education and hold an LPC, being a licensed professional counselor, and you are a licensed mental health professional, and you are still a doctor, but your doctorate is not in psychology. When evaluating anyone's credentials, it's really critical to look at two things: what their doctorate is actually in, and whether they hold a relevant clinical license. In this case, the person you're about to hear from is unlicensed. I'm going to break down why that matters and why this particular message is harmful, especially to the Black community that she claims to be serving and that I actually serve.
A license is really only needed so you can bill insurance.
That is incredibly misleading. Yes, you do need a license to bill insurance, but that is not why licensure exists. Licensure protects you. It means I have completed specific education and supervised clinical hours, passed rigorous exams, and I'm accountable to a regulatory board. If I breach confidentiality, if I cross ethical boundaries or harm you, you have somewhere to file a complaint and be sure that I'm held accountable.
Those are the things that I was wondering about when she said that she was operating outside of BBS, I guess that's what it was. Regulations and rules. I'm like, I'm sure there's way more to the story than just, practicing so you don't bill insurance.
A license is not paperwork just for billing. It's a consumer protection. When someone drops or loses or no longer has a license, they're not solely avoiding the insurance hassle. They're also removing your recourse if something goes terribly wrong.
Not binded by BBS, the Behavior Board Science Rules and Regulations and Ethics. And so it just opened up a whole nother, floor in industry for me.
And she's also saying this like it's a good thing. I want to state something really important. Ethics codes exist to protect you from exploitation and boundary violation and providers practicing outside of their competence. When someone celebrates being free from ethical oversight, I want you to think of that as a red flag, a flashing one. It's a warning sign because those rules exist because real harm happens when they're not in place. So celebrating that you don't have to be accountable to that should be concerning to you.
As a therapist, two things: you can obviously make what you deserve because therapy is real. We're giving everything we have in there, and we're unpacking shit, and we're helping you process through things. So it's not us sitting there, well, if you're an effective therapist, saying, tell me more. You should be unpacking, and you should be able to take somebody and drive with them to their goal.
And here's another thing. She keeps calling herself a therapist, and in most states, that's actually illegal without a license. You cannot legally use the title therapist or provide psychotherapy without licensure. What she's describing now is coaching, and coaching and therapy are fundamentally different. Coaches help with goals and accountability. Therapists are trained to diagnose and treat mental health conditions.
And if you've seen Cheyenne Bryant on any of her appearances, most of the time the conversations are about relationships, accountability, partner responsibilities, things along those lines, which from Ms. Raquel, Dr. Raquel, excuse me, basically is saying that falls under the lining of coaching.
Trauma and depression and suicidality and psychosis. If someone with untreated bipolar disorder or PTSD thinks they're getting therapy from a coach, they're going to be seriously harmed. These are actual conditions that go undiagnosed and untreated, especially within the Black community.
My clients, the truth is that in order to bill insurance, I have to diagnose you. And you only get about 6 weeks. In order for me to get 6 more weeks approval, guess what?
This frames diagnosis as something imposed on you solely for insurance purposes, and that's backwards. A diagnosis isn't a billing trick. It's clinically meaningful information that guides treatment. And the 6 weeks claim is also not accurate across the board. Now, I'm not saying that we should not be addressing insurance because we need to rise up when it comes to insurance authorizations. Like we very much do. That is a different video. But insurance authorizations vary widely by plan, diagnosis, and medical necessity. Many people receive months of years of covered therapy. And she's also making it sound like licensure forces short-term diagnosis-driven care. And that's just simply not how it works as someone who is actually a licensed mental health professional.
Majority of people who know that in order to bill insurance as a therapist or
we don't got to go too much further. Basically, Dr. Raquel Martin is saying this lady is shoveling bullshit in our yard and telling us it's snow, okay? That's all we got to go for, right? Because there's so much more to get to. So just weeks after that video hit the net, Cheyenne made her way to the Breakfast Club to promote her book, Live Your Promise. And here, she spoke out about the rumors surrounding the legitimacy of her doctorate degree, which I believe she does have an honorary, which puts her in the company of Chris Brown, and other celebrities who've received it, but it's not quite the same.
The conversation about your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online.
Mm-hmm.
How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve.
Doc squad. Is that a squad full of motherfuckers who ain't doctors neither?
To hear me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit. Because I don't give a fuck about it. Now, to my doc squad, my fan base, my folks, you know, my village, it's very simple. I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts.
She blink a hell of a lot, boy. I'll tell you that. I mean, I know I blink on camera, but shit.
Because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was past my 2 years. So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance. We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So do you want us to refund you? Or do you want us not? I said no.
Why would you not take the refund if the records don't actually do shit for you no way? You talking about credits? Well, shit, you walked away with nothing, nada, and you ain't want to get your money back? Okay.
Because I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money, and it wipes out your entire program. Luckily, I had, I do this with all of the schools. I had downloaded from the actual student portal my transcripts at that time, and I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up. Just in general.
They are going to kill you online this week. They're going to say she has no records. They just want to hate you regardless.
No, that's fine. And it's not even that there's no records that I don't. The school had a third party that carried the records only for a limit of 2 years. So it's not me. It's any student that attended Argosy. But again, it doesn't, how can I say it? It doesn't affect me because if I chose to go get a license as an LMFT, I have my master's in marriage and child therapist. I have my hours. I can just take that and say, hey, let me submit these for licensure, and I want to go sit for my exam, and all I have to do is study. I don't need a doctorate in counseling psychology to go get licensed as a therapist. That's what we're all.
So why don't you just go do it? Why don't you just go do it? I guess this is gonna be like the new theme on Inside the Industry, is just like niggas be saying, well, I could go do this at any time. I could go to LA and do it. I could go to Oakland and do a show. I could go to LA and do a show for 1 million people. I could go get licensed anytime, baby. It don't matter. It ain't no thing. All I gotta do is sit for the exam. Do it. Just do it. The hell? Don't threaten us with a good time. So from here, things get especially rich because not only did she have the Breakfast Club interview come out, she also had another one come out on the Marissa Mitchell show where She says she won't prove her degree because she's covered by God. And as long as she is in his will, she does not have to prove a damn thing to anyone else. In a profession where you literally have to go through years and years and years of literal proof to multiple people before you can get your degree and or license. You can't make this shit up.
I've earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. My obedience is to God, not to people. And so as long as I'm in his will and I'm serving and I'm doing his, his word, my sheep will know my voice. Even the sheep in wolf clothing. That is not my battle.
Well,
That's
with the
his.
questions that are out there, why?
What you mean, your sheep? Your sheep will know your voice? Talking about the same scripture here?
Why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not?
Well, a couple of things, right? I have multiple degrees, and my thing is that my proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals. My proof is already within my credentials, my degrees, and also more than just my titles, it's in how effective I've been. All of my sessions have been live, for the most part. My sessions.
So now she's saying her sessions, her interviews, by the way, her interviews with Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She's now utilizing those conversations as therapy sessions.
With Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, B. Simone, they have all been for the world to see, right? So no one knew who Dr. Bryant was prior to seeing all of my sessions that were live. And they deemed it, as well as I did before they did it, they can't validate me, I validated myself, they deemed it as my work being effective. I am effective at what I do. I'm educated.
So is this conversation with Miss Marissa Mitchell also a session, or is this an interview? I'm confused.
And I'm successful in my lane, and I'll land on this. I created my own lane. And so a lot of times, Marissa, when people see that you created something that maybe they couldn't, admiration turns into envy. And you got to be okay. And you got to be okay with that in that
as an
space.
attack. But I think, and I've gotten this question from many viewers, and I owe it to them.
You
in
do.
Service to
Absolutely.
them. Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot bring forth that doctoral degree?
So I've already covered this, right? And we're here obviously to talk about my new book. So I've earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. And we're going to leave it just as that. Yeah.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Baby, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
And that's where, and you're standing by that.
Standing by it. Yeah,
right.
Because I earned it.
Excuse me, I'm fucking her name up. Miss Marissa ain't going, baby. I'm sorry. She gave you the limpest handshake. We know in the hood how it go when a motherfucker give you a limp one, and she said, and you standing by that. Salute to Miss Marissa Mitchell. I did not know who you were. I was unfamiliar with your game. But you did that one. She put that, she said, give me some, slap me some. She gave you one of them limp ones. She gave you one of them goddamn Fred Durst motherfuckers. Hell no. All right. So just days later, we have Miss Lakedra Houston, aka Miss Keys, coming out on social media. And she is a former client of Cheyenne Bryant. And she's got some critiques and grievances that she felt needed to be aired out, okay? So here we have screenshots of her sessions. She booked a 50-minute session with Cheyenne Bryant on Wednesday, January the 22nd of 2025 at 2 p.m. We've got another transaction date, January 14th, 2025. So I guess that was the session to come. She paid her money out to Dr. Bryant at drbryant.co, the Dr. Bryant Institute. Okay? I know my head here is going to protrude into some of this, but I'll read it. She says, I will not knock anyone for having an honorary doctorate who has done the work to obtain one, such as myself. However, make sure people are informed of that. I wanted to explain something from my personal encounter with Dr. Bryant, informing me that she was a woman and family therapist. This was during the time my therapist wasn't available and I wanted another Black woman therapist, plus I enjoyed some of the advice she was giving. In our initial appointment, I was never asked intake questions about myself, which was confusing. I didn't sign any forms or anything. I felt like I was talking with a homegirl who was giving advice. The conversation was about her, multiple engagements to some men, and how she sees herself, then getting to really know me, which is why I didn't book or rebook, excuse me. So she said, she said her licensed therapist was not available. She wanted to go to another Black woman. She chose so-called Dr. Bryant. And in that conversation, it ended up getting rerouted to talk about Cheyenne and her multiple engagements to men, none that ended in marriage, and talking about her own personal life. She says, in that moment, I was dealing with anxiety due to PTSD and was looking for guidance, but I fell into depression after speaking with her because I wasn't in a space to hear how I wasn't a high-valued woman. Ooh, so that's what she told you. You going through anxiety, PTSD, and everything, and she said, "You know what? You're not vibrating at a high level right now. You're not a high-value woman." She says, "I was looking for tools to learn and cope with what I was going through. I knew something was off, and I did tell people that, but I was called a hater. I am thankful that people are paying attention, but I'm mostly bothered about her lack of accountability for lying to the public. This is a reminder to make sure people are licensed therapists with proof than someone pretending." Okay? So Miss Keys says, and she showed proof of her transaction at the Bryant Institute of being a former client that was totally unsatisfied with her experience and had no idea that Cheyenne was not actually a doctor. So in the midst of people coming out and actually saying that she's a fraud, she's misleading people, she's not actually performing therapy at all, she's having regular old conversations that you would have with your homegirl, she comes out on Instagram in a bikini photo saying, this is a video, saying, "Y'all still talking? Hashtag Dr. Cheyenne Bryant."
And I'm petty as fuck. I'm pretty and I'm petty.
And she's playing the Cardi B Pretty and Petty record where she dissed Bia. And so she's now taunting the people saying, "Y'all still talking about me? I'm over here. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I'm doing what you can't. I'm making a bag. I got the support of all these celebrities. What the hell y'all gonna do to me?" Right? Which I think is egregious behavior. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk about diabolical. This is diabolical. A motherfucker who been out here for over 10 years calling herself a doctor because she did some coaching on Teen Mom once upon a time, and all of a sudden decided to rebrand herself as a doctor in the social media era, in the podcast era, going on some podcasts, diagnosing niggas, saying she's got a background in all of these different things, basically having standard conversations that we all have had amongst friends, and positioned herself as an authority of mental health in our community. And now that she's being called out about it, she decided to post a video of herself showing off her body as a distraction to say, "Hey, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. I'm looking good and I'm living good." Now we have a former alleged classmate coming out saying, "I went to school with Cheyenne Bryant and she was calling herself a doctor while still attending." As she's not sure if Cheyenne ever finished the program, but transcripts are still accessible, and Cheyenne has said it out of her own mouth that she was never able to finish the program and that all of her records were lost.
Wanda. Last name Kunyete, but most people call me Dr. K. And I went to school with Cheyenne Bryant. The very same school she got her degree from. Hold on.
Damn. Your classmate just came through and put it right on the goddamn Summer Jam screen. This is her shit. Where is yours? My block on fire, water. What about yourn? God damn.
See that? Argosy University. See that? Argosy University.
Damn, she moved in on that motherfucker, man. College of Counseling, Psychology. Shit.
Same year.
Social Sciences. Fuck.
Right there.
Headshot, man.
Yeah. We went to school. She was already calling herself doctor. We got into an argument about it one time because the dialogue we were having in class was, do we call ourselves doctor even though we weren't completed with school? And she said she paid so that she could be a doctor. And I said, being called doctor isn't that damn important. Hey y'all, my name is Shalonda. Because it's no difference than anything else. What's important is the work we do. But we got into a very heated argument about it. And our instructor said, you cannot say that you're a doctor if you haven't completed your dissertation and done with school. Period.
Pretty simple.
But me and Cheyenne used to get in a lot of arguments about shit. And one of the things that she said she wanted to do was she wanted to be the next Iyanla Vanzant. So she went to a lot of her courses.
That's a fact. I actually watched a video prior to this where actually it was listed in Cheyenne's bio that one night she happened to come across Iyanla Fix My Life and a light bulb went off. She then purchased Iyanla's book, went to some of her classes, and basically began to pattern herself as such, right? To brand herself as a, I guess you could say, celebrity life coach, like Iyanla Vanzant. So all of this makes a lot of sense as we start putting these Lego pieces together. We're now able to build a foundation and see where all this came from.
Studied up under her. Now, I don't know if she graduated or not, but I do know, as I just showed you, that I have my diploma. Now, what I can say is she is correct. We cannot get a psychology license with our, because it's no difference than anything else. What's important? Because the school lost its accreditation. And that's really fucked up. It's really fucked up. So we paid a lot of money for that shit. But what I'll tell you is this. I still can. But we'd have to go back to school and do a program. And that's how we would get our degree. Can you still get your credits? Hell yeah. I had to get a job for the government, goddamn. I also am in private practice, goddamn. You can still get all your credits, your transcripts. You get access to that. You can't not get that. What the fuck is that? That's not true. Because the school lost. So yes, she still can get it. She just lied. Now what I can say again, if she did go to school, because I went with her. We were in a couple of classes together. But what I don't know is if she graduated or not. Because if she did, she'd have been able to do this. Pause.
Headshot.
So yes, she still can get it. She just lied. Now what I can say again.
I've earned the title.
Lie detector test determined that was a lie. Okay? So she said, hey, we went to school together. We've had some run-ins. See somebody here saying this lady been hating Cheyenne. Well, whether or not she's hating, she showed her degree with no hesitation, and she didn't have to get it off Canva. And clearly the records are available because there's others who have graduated from Argosy University that have done the same and pulled up their records online without a problem, without a hitch in their program. But however, the most notable person that we've seen come out of there claims that they can't. Where they do that at? And over the course of the last couple of days, as all of this has surfaced online, all of the critiques, all of the think pieces, all of the holding her into the light, we get resurfaced footage of a conversation between herself and Touré on a Truth Talk show, where she basically did everything in her power to call Touré a soft gay man without actually saying it in plain sight.
Only externally, but internally, what they do carry at the nucleus of who they are is discipline and boundaries.
If gentle parenting creates gentle children, sign me up. I definitely want to create more gentle adults, especially men. Hold on, everybody, especially men.
You are
My
a gentle,
God, are you kidding? Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. That's what we need in the world is more gentle men who understand.
You're very gentle, and it comes at an angle that doesn't always work for people.
Let's just stop and go back.
Is this who you want to get your life coaching from?
Because I'm wrapping the show and you're interrupting me.
First of all,
this is what we spent a whole meeting on this.
First of all, Touré,
why don't you let me wrap the show? I'm ending the show. What is the point of interrupting me? We're getting out of here. Like, what is the point? What is the point? It says go to host wrap-up.
When you're talking to me, lower your fucking voice when you're talking to me, because you're acting very, very gentle, very soft, and very feminine. And this is the problem. Touré, you talk to your wife like that. You don't talk to me like that. I am not your wife. You don't talk to me like that. I'm not your wife, gentle. I'm not your wife, softy. Don't talk to me like that. You talk to your wife like that, not me. Touré, talk to your wife like that. Do not talk to me like that. That is not how you That is not how you professionally approach me. Don't fucking talk to me like that. Check.
Frank and Ariva, I apologize.
Check yourself. You don't talk to me like that.
Hold
talk
on,
to your
Doc.
wife like that.
Doc, hold on.
Shut the fuck up talking to me like that. That's what you do. That's what you do. You better tap into your gentleness and real quick.
Whoa.
Are we ready?
I've been ready. Been ready.
You sure?
Ariba, Frank, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah. You ready to wrap this up?
Yes, as I was doing.
And then we'll speak off camera. Here we go.
We always ask, when should a parent be held responsible for their children's behavior, whether it's at school?
This shit happened live in front of everybody. Y'all tried to reset. Y'all should have hit end. Y'all should have hit finish on that bit. We trying to wrap it up. Good. Blow. Over with. But the cameras kept rolling and they tried to reel it on in for the people. Man, I'd have hit goddamn finish in so quick that motherfucking red button, not the one Drake be talking about.
Kids from Walmart, whatever. Let's flip the lens. There's a difference between the parent mourning a child lost to violence and the one silently praying because their child pulled the trigger. To continue to see the show and support Black media, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Truth Talk Live, where you can catch us every night at 8 p.m. EST and at 11 p.m. EST. Support Black media at Cash App, Truth Talks Live, or on any of the links on your screen. Get your Truth Talks membership today. Click here on the screen, and you can choose from 3 different exciting tiers. Black media is under attack, and this show is being shadow banned, so support us by telling a friend to tell a friend to check us out every night at 8 p.m. See you next time on our channel.
Good night, y'all. Life works.
Damn. How you go on another nigga's show and just got there playing a nigga face like that, man? Oh. So yeah, what I will say is this lady is a piece of work. Okay, she infiltrated the culture. She infiltrated the community. She's incentivized herself within it. She's capitalized in it. She's afforded herself an above average lifestyle. She's gained access to the upper crust of the Black community, the so-called Black excellence in our community. Again, like I've stated multiple times in this video, they're going to continue to support her. Therefore, it doesn't seem like she's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And I think that's ultimately unfortunate. We're in a space right now in society, media, where bad actors are incentivized to do just these very things. Negative press ends up reaching farther than the good, and the negative press ultimately will lead to someone with a savior complex coming out to reach out on their behalf, try to stave off the naysayers, and ultimately enrich this person even further than before the controversy even began. And then it just happens again, the cycle continues, and then we get to the next motherfucker who pops out of nowhere, and we have it all over again. Let me know what y'all think of all this shit down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there, man. Peace. Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'll never politic and the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5-6 bank accounts every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I could do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I read for filth. The sympathy cause consulting for the stacks I built. I had to evolve and grow cause I could've